On a snowy day, Isha teleported to the Weebye Cathedral in the Papal State. There, she was greeted by Wolf, who appeared to be drunk. Wolf explained that he was like this because he had to deal with dwarves every day, which was troublesome. He also complained about their bad body odor. Then, someone told Wolf that he shouldn't say such racist things, especially since they were in the Papal State. It was Elton, a goblin who was the first non-elf to become a priest and had even risen to the rank of archbishop. Elton then remarked that this had nothing to do with race, pointing out that many elves were not like the stereotype of elves. Hearing this, Wolf felt offended and angry. He challenged Elton to exchange territories with him, claiming that Elton's territory was easier because it was always peaceful. Elton responded that it was due to the people's faith in the Queen's favor. He advised Wolf to change his way of thinking. Then, Cardinal Miller arrived and ordered them to sit. They all gathered at one table for a discussion. Cardinal Miller had invited them all there to report on the situation in their respective territories. However, someone arrived late. She looked very clumsy and even fell while descending the stairs. It was Aria, the new bishop of Erston Temple, replacing Bishop Onnet. Cardinal Miller then asked her to report on her territory. Aria said that in Deanstark, the holy land of mountains and flames, there was nothing to report. However, Cardinal Miller mentioned hearing that Charlotte, the daughter of the King of Roth, had inherited the throne. Aria apologized for missing that detail. Seeing her clumsy and hesitant behavior, Isha felt worried inside. Elton then introduced himself as the Archbishop of Vierton Temple, overseeing the Mitwoke region, the holy land of lakes and water. He reported that there were no issues in his area, attributing this to the Pope's authority. Wolf also introduced himself, stating that he was from Dritten Temple and managed the Samstag region, the holy land of deserts and earth. He reported that there were no significant problems in his area. However, Cardinal Miller mentioned hearing about frequent conflicts among the dwarves. Wolf said that such incidents were common and happened every day, and that they had even hit him while he was trying to mediate. Isha then introduced herself, stating that she was from the Donnerstag region, the holy land of forest and wine. She recounted that a few days ago, an otherworlder went on a rampage and destroyed half of the city of Vale. They were currently trying to repair the damage. It turns out that Cardinal Miller also invited all of them to discuss the otherworlders. As they already knew, the Demon Lord was defeated by a group of otherworlders. Because of this, the Pope decided to seal the magic circles connecting the worlds and stop summoning people from other worlds. Elton felt very relieved because the war against the cruel Demon Lord was over. Wolf was also grateful, as this meant he would be free from the crazy otherworlders. However, Cardinal Miller then said that this was where the problem lay. The 7 otherworlders who defeated the Demon Lord had taken over the Demon Lord's territory and become the new rulers. Isha and Aria were very shocked to hear this. Cardinal Miller then continued, saying that recently, the Pope had also received a declaration from these 7 individuals. With the power of the 7 otherworlders, they will transform Zauberberg into an ideal world. This news surprised everyone present. Miller said that the Pope felt very pressured because previously, the Pope believed that the otherworlders were angels set to save this world and love everyone. But now, it was as if those who had been considered his children were now opposing him. Miller then emphasized that they should consider this as a declaration of war against the Hellsyn Church worldwide. Now, the otherworlders had become fallen angels threatening the world. They also could not allow the otherworlders who were starting to cause chaos in every region. The disappearance of the Demon Lord's daughter, Waldelia, from her castle could not be ignored either. Miller stated that Zauberberg was now entering a new era. The mission of the bishops was to address this issue and protect the world's peace. Wolf complained that the situation had become complicated and overwhelming. Aria was also confused about how to fight such powerful individuals. Isha then remembered an incident where Sensei managed to return the otherworlders to their original world. Isha mentioned that there might be a way to deal with the otherworlders. Isha told Miller about Sensei, surprising the others. They could not believe there was such power. Isha then said that they could likely send the Otherworlders back to their original world. Unexpectedly, the Pope arrived there. The others quickly knelt in reverence. The Pope then said that Sensei might be their beacon of hope. He asked Isha to explain in more detail. The scene then shifted to the Demon Lord's castle. A woman was humming there. Nearby, a man with a bow tie was pouring drinks into 2 glasses on the table. The man said that their comrades had gone to various places. He invited the woman to observe the future from there. Then, in the evening, Annette and Tama were seen nearing a settlement, dragging a coffin. Annette suggested that they stay there for the night before entering Grun. Tama was very happy because she would finally be able to sleep in a bed. Then a notification sound appeared, informing them that Tama had reached level 17 due to her diligent training. However, Tama felt sad. With a gloomy face, she couldn't believe that she had leveled up because of dragging a coffin. Annette then looked around, trying to find an inn. A young boy then told them that the inn was at the end of the street. Annette thanked him. The boy then said that he had useful information for adventurers. The boy mentioned that he was acquainted with heroes or Otherworlders. So, if there were any parties that lacked confidence, they could be accompanied by Otherworlders to ensure a safe and comfortable journey. That was the business he was running now. Tama imagined annoying Otherworlders like Suzuki and Kataro. The boy continued to persuade them, asking for 40,000 Geniko in return for his service, promising to introduce them to Otherworlders who could help. Tama refused the offer as it was too expensive, but Annette agreed without hesitation. Of course, Tama protested. However, Annette said it was cheap if it meant ensuring Sensei's safety. The boy also expressed his sorrow upon seeing the coffin they were carrying. He said that life couldn't be bought, and the person in the coffin would surely smile in heaven if they knew that heroes were accompanying their friends on their journey. Unexpectedly, Sensei rose from the coffin and said that he wasn't dead. The boy was utterly shocked. He couldn't believe there was a talking corpse. Tama then explained that Sensei was also a hero. The boy, however, was skeptical, especially since Sensei's appearance was not convincing. After taking the money from Annette's hand, the boy ran away, introducing himself as Nier, and promised to bring real heroes to them. Night fell. Annette was still waiting for Nier at the inn's door. The innkeeper asked if they were going to stay or not. Annette replied that she couldn't decide yet because she was waiting for someone. Sensei then said that Nier wouldn't return to them. According to Sensei, Nier's eyes looked like those of an adult. The innkeeper then asked if they had given money to Nier. Annette confirmed it. The innkeeper sighed and said that was always how his trick worked. The innkeeper mentioned that Nier had never met any heroes, so there was no way he could introduce them. They must have been tricked by Nier. Annette was instantly furious upon hearing this. The innkeeper then explained that Nier was an orphan who once lived in the village. He made money by scamming adventurers who came by. No adults ever scolded him, and he was considered a nuisance in the village. Sometimes, the innkeeper even felt sorry for him. The heroes Nier talked about might just be his fantasy. Under a bridge, Nier was seen sitting alone, holding a sword in his hand. He seemed to care deeply for the sword. Suddenly, someone grabbed him from behind, rendering him helpless. He was then taken to a house in the middle of a forest. There were 3 men there, and it turned out they were after the valuables Nier had. Nier was tied to a post, struggling and threatening that if anything happened to him, his friend, who was an Otherworlder, would not stand by Lee. To his surprise, the 3 men were Otherworlders. They demonstrated their powers. One had a weapon, another emitted light from his eyes, and another could harden his body like metal. Nier couldn't believe what he was seeing. One of them showcased his power to produce a weapon shaped like a crossbow, capable of piercing dragon scales, which he called Mad Gear. The man also knew that Nier had been making money by exploiting the name of Otherworlders like them. They decided to punish Nier by executing him. Nier resigned himself to his fate, no longer believing that Otherworlders like them were the heroes who saved this world. Just as the Otherworlder with the crossbow was about to pull the trigger, Sensei suddenly appeared, shifting his hand so the shot missed and hit the leg of the man with the metal hardening ability. The man clutched his leg in pain. The others were confused about who Sensei was. Sensei then said they were not heroes but liars, causing children to imitate their lies. Someone with glowing eyes used his power to analyze Sensei, discovering that Sensei was also an otherworlder. They panicked, but after examining further, they found that Sensei had only 1 HP and was poisoned, which relieved them a bit. The one with the crossbow threatened to kill Sensei. Hearing this, Sensei turned and walked toward them. The one analyzing began to panic, noticing Sensei's vitality was rising drastically. Smiling, Sensei kept walking, telling them they had to aim precisely at his heart. The otherworlders were terrified, considering him a pervert. They fled, leaving Sensei and Nier behind. Sensei watched them, dismissing them as liars. Still tied up, Nier asked Sensei if he was a hero. Sensei replied that he wasn't that great. Sensei then said that adults are betrayed youths, but Nier was still young. It was too early for him to be an adult. According to Sensei, Nier's current eyes were just fine. Sensei walked out of the house, leaving Nier alone. Nier was stunned for a moment, then realized he was still tied up and that Sensei had left him there. The next day, Sensei, Onit, and Tama were preparing to continue their journey. Sensei looked very sleepy. Tama asked if he hadn't slept enough, and Onit asked where he had been last night. Sensei turned his face away. Onit became suspicious, wondering if Sensei had met a woman. Sensei simply said that last night was very enjoyable. Onit was angry but also curious about what Sensei had done. Sensei ignored her and closed his coffin. Suddenly, Nier appeared near them and greeted them. Of course, Tama was shocked and immediately angry. She demanded Nier return their money. Nier refused, saying he hadn't lied. Smiling, Nier reminded them that his promise was to introduce them to a valiant warrior. Tama then realized that the valiant warrior meant Nier himself. Nier then joined their party. They continued their journey and finally arrived at the landmark Castle Grun. A notification sounded, indicating that Sensei had gained 5 points. Sensei held his head and said he wanted to die. Nier, standing next to him, was worried. He wondered if something bad had happened to Sensei. Sensei replied that there was no day without suffering in life. Panicking, Nier reported this to Onit and Tama. However, Tama and Onit ignored him. Tama then suggested that Nier take turns pulling the coffin with her. Of course, Nier refused. Tama then questioned whether a valiant warrior would really let a woman drag a coffin the whole way. Finally, Nier reluctantly agreed to help. Tama smiled happily. After walking a short distance, their destination came into view. It was Tama's homeland, the city of Grun. Upon reaching the gate, they paused for a moment. Tama felt very happy, as it had been a long time since she had returned to her city. Onit noticed there was an inspection at the gate. Confidently, Tama said they would have no trouble entering, as she was quite well known there. Tama approached the gate, but the guards panicked and surrounded them. Tama and the others were, of course, confused by what was happening. They were then taken prisoner and thrown into jail. Onit sobbed, feeling she had done nothing wrong. Meanwhile, Sensei casually fell asleep, resting his head on Malos.